What's up, guys? Welcome back to another review, and this time we're going to be taking a look at Home Alone 2, the sequel to the first Home Alone movie. Macaulay Culkin returns as Kevin McAllister, Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern return as Marv and Harry, but we get the added addition of probably my favorite character in the whole movie, and that is Tim Curry as the hotel manager. I love Home Alone 2 Lost in New York. I have always loved Home Alone 2 Lost in New York. I've seen this movie more than I've seen the first movie. While I do love the first movie, I adore the second movie tenfold. Maybe it's because I'm from New York, so I got seeing all those familiar beats that's literally right outside your front window, like the Empire State Building, the trades, the Statue of Liberty, Central Park. Seeing all those things highlighted in Home Alone 2, as a New Yorker, it hits more closer to home. But yeah, I know that I just found this movie to be so much more funnier than the first. There's a lot of funny moments in this movie. I said in the last review that I love the character of Uncle Frank, and once again, Frank has some more funny bits. I love the bit where Kevin walks in on him in the shower and he starts yelling at Kevin, and Kevin records the whole thing. It's great, and of course that gets called back later on in the movie. Another Uncle Frank bit I like is it happened in the previous scene where pretty much Buzz made fun of Kevin during a Christmas pageant. Kevin got pissed. He shoved Buzz, ruined the whole thing. Buzz did this fake ass apology. Kevin started giving his family the riot act, saying that Buzz was blah 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 blah. Then Uncle Frank just said, "You better not wreck my trip, you little sourpuss. Your dad's paying good money for it." Then Kevin just comes back with, "Wouldn't want to spoil your fun, Mr. Cheapskate." I like Kevin in this movie. This movie takes place a year after the first, so Kevin is, I guess you could say, slightly more wiser. He's a little bit more weathered, since he's maybe a tiny bit weathered in a way, though not fully weathered. He's still a kid, but he's not afraid to come back at you with a quick wit or a quick comeback or a quick put down once you get on his case. So again, Macaulay Culkin does a great job as Kevin McAllister. And like I said earlier, Daniel Stern and Joe Pesci to me are like a modern day Abbott and Costello. Their chemistry together is hilarious as Marv and Harry. I love Joe Pesci as pretty much the leader of the duo, while Daniel Stern plays Marv as more like a dimwit in a way. And of course, this time they're no longer the wet bandits; they're the sticky bandits, and they got a lot of funny quips also. I love the scene where Marv steals from Street Santa Claus, but he takes pennies, and pretty much Harry's like, "You're gonna steal 20 cents from a Santa Claus?" It's hilarious. They got some good bantering going on in this movie. It's great stuff. And like I said, to me, the main highlight of this movie is Tim motherfucking Curry as the hotel manager. The second Kevin walks into this hotel, Curry's character is immediately like, "Okay, what are you doing here?" And they have a lot of funny scenes together. That Uncle Frank scene I mentioned earlier, where Kevin recorded him, that comes back in this section of the movie, where Curry, investigating Kevin's room, Kevin plays a trick on Curry with the recording and an inflatable clown that he got earlier in the movie, and he tricks Curry's character, scares him, and then it's hilarious. And then, as another callback to the first movie, where Kevin used a movie to trick the pizza guy in Marv and Harry, he did it again to Tim Curry and a bunch of hotel personnel, which is a hilarious scene. And Curry's acting in that scene is fucking hysterical. His facial expressions, the way he was reacting to certain situations was priceless. And of course, another awesome scene with Tim Curry is where he and Kevin's mother are having an argument in the hotel lobby, and Kevin's mother just slaps the taste out of his mouth. And you can see Curry's lips start quivering like he's about to cry. Fucking hysterical. Curry to me is the reason why I give Home Alone 2 high regards in the first movie, because I love Tim Curry, and he's just fucking hysterical in everything I see him in. But there's more to this movie. There's a nice little scene where Kevin has a nice little conversation with a toy shop owner. There's this nice little tender scene where he befriends a homeless lady. Of course, the scene where he reunites with his mother is really touching. Is nice as well. And of course, the funhouse scene in Home Alone 2 I think is more funnier than Home Alone 1 and is more deadly than Home Alone 1. It has callbacks to the first, but Kevin also has more ways to torture Marvin and Harry. I'm not going to give it away, because if you haven't seen this movie in a long time, or if you haven't seen Home Alone 2 at all, you owe it to yourself to watch it, because Home Alone 2, to me, is a superior movie to the first. Of course, Home Alone 2 to me is a 10 out of 10. I love everything about it. The Tim Curry component is what gives it that extra point. The chemistry between Pesci and Stearns is better than ever. Culkin as Kevin McAllister is great. Uncle Frank is as dick as ever. So it's like, yeah, Home Alone 2. Home Alone 2 to me is like a movie that gets a lot of criticism for hitting the same beats as the first movie, which it does. Don't get me wrong, it does hit the same beats as the first movie, and if you take that Tim Curry component out, Home Alone 2 to me is not as good as the first movie without Tim Curry. But with Tim Curry, it exceeds the first movie, to my opinion. I give the first movie a 9, I'm giving this one a 10, and the reason why I give it a 10 is solely because of Tim Curry, and of course for Pesci and Stern, and for Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern as Marvin Harry. Anyway, those are my thoughts on Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll check you back next time for more.